Hello, my name is Dan,
My name is Lucy.
and this is Reality Check.
Woo!
Woo! We've done
Woo!
our first draft episode of Survivor. We've done the preseason, but now we are into the season. We are in the thick of it.
It's
It's
happening!
yeah, woo! It was
Ah,
great. Absolutely loved both Survivor
let me
and The
get the
Amazing
wiki up.
Race, which we are caught up on both Survivor and The Amazing Race. So we will be talking about both of them. Big Brother, maybe we'll get an episode in about Big Brother by the finale. We'll see. But uh, we're gonna start with Survivor because that is the main focus of this reality check show, and that is one of the main things we're advertising, and that is something we're gonna be able to talk about more. So, how did you like the episode, Lucy?
That was so good. I loved
Yeah,
it, honestly. I was so excited. Just the fact that Survivor is back, huge.
hmm exactly. Yeah, it was awesome to see it. Um, So, first of all, spoilers ahead. If you have not seen the episodes, go ahead and watch them because we are going to spoil both Survivor and The Amazing Race today. And speaking of which, I kind of want to start from the end about this. I want to talk about Hannah Rose. Um, because, as we know, she she was someone you had really high hopes for at the start. She was in your first impression
Yeah.
draft. And
Oh no!
she pretty much quit or essentially requested to be voted off to the point where there was not a formal tribal. Um,
Yeah.
and
So,
yeah,
first
so
things
what?
first, I do want to say, I acknowledge that a lot of people are mad about that.
Yeah,
I
that's
hear
why I
that.
want to address it now.
Yeah. I don't want to, when I speak, I do not speak with authority of the whole survivor community and all that.
hmm
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because people are mad. People think it's disrespecting the game and whatever. But you know what? At least she tried
hmm
for 3 days. But at least she tried. I know there's a lot of people that want to get out there and do it, and they're so desperate to go out and play. You know what? So was everyone else on that tribe. You know, like
Yeah. Exactly.
Brandon cried when he saw Jeff on the map. You know,
Yeah.
like he wanted to be there so badly, and if Hannah hadn't quit, it could have been Brandon. You know, so yes, I don't really respect the fact that Hannah quit. I much would have rather seen her see it through. I think it would have been such a character arc, like her and Brandon making it to the merge
hmm
together.
Yeah, they could have been so
But
great together.
I understand. I think if
hmm
you're gonna quit, that was the best way to do it.
Yeah.
First tribal, when you're actually at tribal, not just
hmm
randomly going, oh, I'm out, let me ruin the flow of the game and cancel someone else's tribal. She at
yeah.
least went to the tribal, did all the questioning, and then said she wanted to quit.
hmm
Which I think if you're gonna quit, that was the way to do it.
Yeah.
And again, by doing that, she meant that someone who actually really, really desperately
hmm
wanted to stay could stay. And
Yeah.
one more thing I have to say on that, everyone who's complaining at her, and yeah, you'd say, well, um, oh, I forgot how I was going to word that. It was going to be really nice wording, but basically, with the logic being, there are so many people out there sat on their sofas who do want to go out and go there.
hmm
Hannah was one of those people too.
Yeah. Yeah. No, she definitely was, and she
She
realized that
wanted to
oh,
play. Yeah,
no, I don't. And that
yeah,
sucks, but that
yeah.
was her choice.
Because she prepared. She
hmm
she was saying she read books. Obviously, you're going to prepare to go on Survivor.
hmm
And when she got there, nothing can train you for that moment where there's no flint, there's no shelter, it's rained, you're
hmm
cold, you're miserable, you're having nicotine withdrawal. It's like,
Well,
huh. It's a little bit like, okay, it's all setting in. And honestly,
hmm
I think if she had stuck it out a few more days, I think she would have been fine. But in that moment, she made her choice, and
yeah,
who am I to say she shouldn't have when I was not the one
exactly.
there with wet feet
hmm
and mud in my you know
hmm Yeah,
there's
exactly.
mud
Yeah,
everywhere. Yeah.
yeah, and
So I'm not
oh,
mad. I'm
yeah,
not mad. Sorry, I have
and
feelings about that.
no, that's fine. And I also want to add, I read an interview with Jeff, about it, and one of the main thing I got out of what he said he said like as soon as she said that and did that, he called like he talked to the casting director and the main psychologist on set, and he was like, we missed something. She shouldn't have been on, or something. And
Right.
I feel like that's definitely a decent way to look at it. Like, it was awesome
Well, so
getting
it's
to,
like it's their. They were saying
yeah,
it's
they
their
were
fault
taking the
for
blame on that. Like, they were like,
right.
oh, clearly we missed something about her that like they should have seen it coming, is what he was
Yeah.
thinking. And that's
Yeah.
a good way to look at it, because Jeff is notably very angry at Quitters, and I think he handled this
Yeah.
one very well. And
Yeah. No,
yeah,
I love Jeff.
yeah.
Honestly,
So yeah, my
what a
opinion,
guy.
I pretty much agree with Jeff's perspective there. If there was it, people are gonna quit. It happens, but like if they could avoid it, like
Yeah.
I think the perspective he took was good, and not that Hannah doesn't deserve to be like casted, but she clearly wasn't ready for
Yeah.
it. But that's not always something you can
Yeah.
just tell.
Yeah, and that's the thing. She's a therapist. She's very
Mhm.
in touch with her emotions, and she explicitly said while she was out there that she had lost control of her emotions.
Mm-hmm.
And as someone whose job is to be in control of emotions and to help other people control theirs, that's got to be super disconcerting.
Yeah.
Like going from
exactly.
being like really like, comfortable and like mentally stable. Not that she was mentally unstable, but like, when you're really comfortable and settled to suddenly being in this new place in a new state where you feel different, it's gonna rattle you. And
Yeah.
ultimately it is just a game.
Yeah.
And
Exactly.
it's not life or death. I feel like, we kind of talk about it as though it is life or death. But
Mhm.
and I say we as in like everyone who watches Survivor. Like we're out here like, no, she should have died out there on that beach. She wasn't gonna die. But you know what? She protected her own well-being in that
Yeah.
moment.
Exactly.
And I've got to respect that.
Yeah. Ultimately, like I don't get as angry as the normal fan base or Jeff when it comes to quitting. I'm not a fan of it. Like oh that
Yeah.
sucks. With that being said, I do respect how Hannah did it. I'm glad that
Yeah.
she did it
Yeah.
when I'd much rather see it now than like
Mhm.
4 episodes down the line if we we lost Brandon, we lost Emily, and they never even
Yeah.
talked about wanting to quit, and now all of a sudden
And then
she
she
couldn't
just-
handle it. Like,
Yeah, that
but
would have been
that's a
much
risky
worse.
thing, because you're like oh maybe she would have just been fine and would have gotten over it, but like if she doesn't,
Yeah,
then she did
but then
take
she
someone's
wouldn't.
spot.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, and that would have been Brandon or Emily's spot.
Yeah. It sounds like it would have
And
been
I'll say
Emily.
it,
I think you said that.
Brandon and Emily were kind of having main character moments this episode, so I do want to see where their like character arcs take
Yeah.
them. So I am glad that neither of them, like, I didn't want either of them to go. Much as I
Yeah.
don't really like
Mhm.
Emily as a person, like, I wouldn't get along with her. She's a character, she's a villain, and I do
Mhm.
respect that, and I do want to see how it plays out.
Yeah. I think I can handle a few more episodes of Emily being Emily.
Yeah.
But
Shall
yeah.
we talk about Emily?
Yeah, let's talk about
move
Emily.
On to that?
I don't ever remember like a more active, like pure villain like that. Like there have been some players that are just like they seem kind of crazy, and stuff like that. But no, she's just like villain sort of thing.
Yeah.
Like not like maniacal, but just like so serious and almost snarky about it.
Yeah, she's always stood there like with her arms crossed, like over it.
I don't think she rarely smiles, which that's like I don't like naturally smile. It's not just something I
Mhm.
stand around and do, but like yeah. She had a
I'm
whole
looking
like
at the...
she had a
You go,
whole
sorry.
arc this episode. Like the moment Jeff talks to Bruce and Bruce is doing his little like, oh, I was barely here. Emily's like on him, which fair
Emily's
enough.
like,
You want
"You
to get
shut
hard
up."
on him, but she would not back down whatsoever. And Bruce had Bruce was there for like a day at most. So
Yeah, and he spent most of that day like worrying about his head
mhm.
that was bleeding, you know?
Like he's got like day one experience is great, but
Mhm.
as we've seen from this episode, he might not have the best gameplay or any advantage
Yeah.
because of it.
Yeah.
Um,
But you know what? Speaking of Bruce, I love
Yeah.
that we finally got to see his personality.
oh
'Cause
my,
in
yeah, he got to like
43
actively
44,
do
sorry?
stuff.
Yeah, like we never saw him besides him hitting his head and kind
That
of
was
dealing
his
with
that was his archetype. That's
But we immediately saw Bruce having a personality. I was like, oh my
Yeah,
god,
and
he
he was having
talks, you know?
fun.
Like,
Yeah.
when he did that impression of Emily, and he was like, bitch! And I was like, yes, Bruce, he's so likable. When he
Yeah.
was like that, he was likable anyway. As soon as
Yeah.
he entered like bossy mode, I was like, dude, calm down.
hmm Well, this is what was it? Kendra was like, "Oh, we should weave palm fronds," and Bruce just after saying, "Oh, I don't want to be bossy. Don't call me dad." He's like, "I hear you,
But
but
let's
that is
not
the
weave
worst
palm.
thing you could do."
Yeah.
uh,
So let's talk about the Bello tribe actually, because
yeah.
we've got the three girls who have
hmm
all
And
kind of
they're all pretty close. It seems like.
yeah.
Yeah. I gotta pull up
And you know
Wiki
what? I
now. I
was
don't have
about
the name to
to.
it.
I just made an observation that their names all start with K, so I was about to call them
Oh
like.
no! Don't.
Let's.
Ah.
Yeah. No.
Oh my gosh.
Um. But they also. I think they all have September birthdays today.
Yes, I believe they do. They
Yeah.
established
So
that there.
something. Let me just check their pages.
They
September
do.
3rd, September 5th, and September 25th. Cool.
Okay.
Um. Yeah. So they're all K names. They're all born
hmm
in September. Two of them are Virgos and one's a Libra.
Yep.
Kendra's a Libra.
Oh,
And
okay.
Kendra's the one who's going off like, I'm a Libra.
Oh. Hmm.
I only know which one Libra is because I'm a Scorpio, and Libra is before Scorpio.
Okay.
So
I'm
there
an
we go.
Aquarius.
There we go.
Yeah.
I think we're both water signs. I have no idea what that means. Aquarius sounds watery. Let me just check if that actually is. It is. It's an air sign. It's an air
Well, that is
sign.
weird
Why
though.
is
It should be a
Aquarius
water
an
sign.
air
It
sign?
should be a
What
water
on
sign.
earth?
Yeah. Anyways, let's
Oh my
talk about
god.
the
Yes.
the
Moving
fellow
on.
tribe.
Yes. So I love the way Katora is
Mhm.
so like she's kind of everything. Like she lied about being a lawyer and then she lied about her age so
Yeah.
smoothly. She said she was 29. Like
I think she said she was 30, but yeah.
or 30.
Yeah.
20 or
He was
29
like,
or
"Oh, they're
30.
all the same age." Whoa. Sort of
Yeah, I was
thing.
like,
Yeah.
wow, we're all the same age. That
Mhm.
was cool. Like
Mhm.
the way she has seamlessly lied like that,
Mhm.
especially with the whole lawyer thing. Like the other guy, Jake,
Jake.
she was kind of giggling at him for being a baby lawyer.
Mhm. It's like, oh, he just
Yeah,
wants to tell everyone he just passed the bar. But no, you never tell people that you're a lawyer.
exactly.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
I've just learned that the first challenge was called Barge Simpson.
What? Oh. Huh. I don't know if that's official or not. I do see it on the wiki.
It says it
But
on the wiki.
yeah, it doesn't mean anything. Yeah, no, that doesn't. I mean, maybe. But
Anyway.
anyways, it is a cool name. They should keep it as that. Yeah. Yeah, so Bello Tribe, I I don't think there's much else to say with Bello. Do we want to go back to Emily and the Lulu tribe?
Yeah, let's talk
Yeah.
about that a lot. I feel like, yeah, Bello, I think, let's let him cook for a bit. Oh, wait, actually, let's talk about Brando.
Sure,
Bless
yeah.
him. Brando was like, I'll do Savvy, I'll do Savvy. And then he goes out to this beach.
Yeah.
He's this skinny little nerd.
Mhm.
And he's like, you know, he's not buff in any way, bless him. And it's like, right, carry these logs over the next hour.
Mhm.
And bless him, you know what? He had a
He
go.
did. Yeah.
He had a go, and
It
I love
was-
that for him.
Yeah, let's talk about Sweater Savvy then, because that was an interesting one. The Reba tribe won the first challenge, so they didn't have to do anything. And then the other two tribes had to send two people to do Sweat and Savvy, which like, oh cool, they're sending two people no matter what, so they're automatically cut off from the tribe. Not everyone gets to do it. But then we realized it's Sweat versus Savvy. So both of the pairs had to do 40 logs carried across like a long distance, and then a puzzle. So anyone who thought they would get away with just doing Savvy or just doing Sweat, nope, they did not get away with it. And it was Brando and Jake from Bello and Sabaya and Caleb from Lulu who did it. There was some really good content out of it. Anything you want to say about Sweat versus Savvy?
I wish we had a better look at that rope thing, because
Mm.
I would have loved to have a go at that,
Yeah,
or
the
at least
rope
try and
thing
figure out how that works.
is just like
That
a
looked
pattern
really
thing.
tough.
There's like
Yeah.
I see it on like shorts all the time.
Like, I kind of get what you're meant to do.
Mm-hmm.
Did you just say shorts?
Yeah.
Do you watch YouTube shorts?
I mean, not often, but that's where I've seen it.
Cool.
What, you got a problem with that? They're all the same. It doesn't matter what you watch.
No, it's funny because YouTube Shorts gets for TikTok trends like 2 months later.
So,
Nothing.
anyways,
Anyway,
they all
Survivor.
failed their Sweat and Savvy stuff, which was like we've never seen anyone lose a Sweat and Savvy,
Yeah.
and now they both did, and that set off alarms for Emily back at Lulu Tribe.
Right. So yeah, Emily immediately was like, these guys have an advantage. Like, she was throwing that out there.
Yeah. And she was like, even before they got back, she was like, if they come back
Yeah.
with nothing, something happened.
Yeah, like she was planting that seed.
Mm-hmm.
But then Sean, was it, went to Sabaya to tell her
Yep.
that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Everyone pretty quickly
Yeah.
has turned against it. Like, I don't think Emily's in a very good spot. The only saving thing for Emily is possibly Brandon. Well, Hannah was the first saving thing for Emily, but Brandon would be
Okay.
the only one that could save Emily, and I'd rather see Emily go than
Yeah, me
Brandon
too.
sacrifice himself.
Brandon is not sacrificing anything.
Yeah. Brandon has
My
not
winner.
been great at the challenges.
Yeah,
And-
shall we talk about Brandon?
Sure, let's talk about Brandon. What do you want to say about Brandon through this episode, Lucy?
He did nothing wrong.
Yeah.
Free him.
Yeah.
Honestly.
I mean,
Brandon,
there are people who come
my
on Survivor
favorite.
all nervous and then go on to do well. Like, he can definitely do
Mhm.
well. Like
I
season
think he
33.
genuinely just cared so much that his
Yeah.
nerves got the better of him.
Yeah.
Like, I've rewatched the first episode.
You
Um,
have? Oh, yeah,
Well,
okay.
Yeah, my mom.
Yep.
Yeah. So she didn't watch it when we watched it, so then I put it on for her as well, and I sat
Yeah.
with her while she watched it. So watching it the second time and knowing what was happening, I kept an eye on Brandon in the water in case something happened. And like
Mhm.
you could see him like on the boat and climbing onto the boat, the first boat, like the little barge.
Mhm.
He was like, his muscles were shaking. Like he was that tense
Oh.
that
He's
like
nervous for the first
his
challenge,
muscles
wow.
are just like seized up. Yeah.
Mhm.
Well, that's the thing. It's the first challenge. You're gonna
Yeah.
get nervous.
Yeah, exactly.
Like I get nervous. Like I don't know, watching. Yeah. And it's like I don't know these 18 strangers, and I'm nervous for them.
Yeah.
So imagine I've seen Brandon's Twitter and Instagram and TikTok, and he's a super fan. And I don't mean super fan as in like he's watched the episodes, because that seems to be what counts you as a super fan these days. No, his entire Twitter feed is Survivor.
Wow,
Like for
nice.
years. He will talk and talk and talk about Survivor.
Nice.
His TikTok, Survivor. His room that he's shown on TikTok, he's got all sorts of Survivor merchandise, and like
Oh,
he's even got a
nice.
little torch. He's a super fan, and he's been wanting to be on Survivor for like before he was even old enough to apply.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So he's obviously, it's a big deal for him being there, like actually being there. So we saw that. As soon as he gets on the mat, he's crying. I would be
Yeah.
stressing too, because that first challenge means a lot. That first
Mhm.
challenge is going to decide who you're going to like end up aligning with, you know?
Yeah.
Because it determines everything. Everything starts from that moment.
Exactly. Yeah.
So he panicked.
Yeah.
And we could see that. And when you're in the water and in a high stress situation, it's just going to make it worse.
Mm-hmm.
And then when he can't get up the ladder, he panics even more. And then Sean just goes, which he did say he could, but then Sean didn't try and help him up.
Yeah.
And then his tribe told him to go help him. And I was like, okay, thank you, Sean. Good teamwork. I need to talk about Sean's teamwork, by the way, because on the
Okay.
wall as well, Sean scaled that wall in the main challenge and then just sat there at the top. It's like, dude, start pulling people up. Like, it's not just about getting you to the destination. You've got to get all of the group. The whole squad needs to be there. So that was something I noticed.
Nice.
Anyway, Brandon. So, he clearly gave that everything. Like, you can see him as he's trying to climb the ladder, everything is shaking.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he's clearly completely gone. Like, there is nothing left in the tank for him, but he's still trying because it matters. Yeah. They haul him over the side of a boat and he crawls to the thing. Yeah, I don't get, because I've seen a lot of people online mad about Brandon and saying, like, oh, he's so pathetic. No, he just cared too much. And, like,
yeah,
I think a lot of the people saying that have never dealt with anxiety, because I know Brandon has talked openly about that already. But, like, I know firsthand how that can, like, absolutely, like, debilitate you. If you feel, like, bad, your whole body is out of your control then. And if you're in a situation where you have to swim with your clothes on, I could not do that. Like, I could not. So I think people, like, on the internet need to just calm down with Brandon. Because he's done nothing wrong. He was just trying his best. And it is not a crime to care too much. Plus, it was just a reward challenge. They would have got their flint at the next challenge anyway.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, Bello have got theirs now.
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry, I have many feelings about that one. I could rant for a long time about Brandon.
Yeah.
Brandon, if you're listening, we love you, Brandon.
Go Brandon. Woo.
Yeah. Woo.
Okay. I think with that being said, let's go ahead and talk about the Reba tribe. Yeah.
Yeah. Can we talk about Nerd Prime?
Oh, sure, Nerd Prime. Tell us about Nerd
Yay!
Prime.
He's really tall.
Yes, he is.
That's my contribution.
Okay.
I loved his intro actually. Like he gave like he was explaining like I'm Drew and I'm Basile. And they come together to make Drew Basile. I was like, slay. Exactly. What an intro.
And he's for us he's transformed from a pre-merge nerd to a merge nerd. And
yeah, no, for sure. This guy could definitely make the merge. Like, especially
he could
being
do really well.
Tall. Yeah, I could not tell how tall he was based on fire, but like
he's
every step
tall.
of his is going to equal like 2 steps of like Emily's, you know?
Yeah,
so
exactly.
Every challenge, he's going to have like just a natural advantage. Like, trust me, as a short person, I understand. Like, all my friends are tall, so I'm always like waddling along as quick as I can to keep up with them.
Yeah,
but you know what? As well as being tall, he's skinny. And it's kind of good to be skinny on Survivor because if you're like, you remember Jonathan from 42?
42.
Yeah, 42. 42.
No, 42. Yeah, 42. Yep.
Because he was with Marianne.
Yep.
Yeah. Jonathan's like this big buff guy, right? Because he has so much muscle, he's going to have to eat a lot more. Now, Drew, bless his heart, does not have that much muscle. So he's good. He can just eat the same as everyone else and not die. Fantastic.
Nice. Yeah.
I really do like I say this as a like skinny short person, but I feel like they need to ration foods depending on people's height and body weight because it always happens that the biggest, strongest ones do not get enough food. And I don't think they keep that into account. I mean, personally, if I was on Survivor, I'd say, yeah, equal portions for everyone, guys. But I'm not on Survivor, and for good reason. So, yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, Drew, he's been very interesting. We only really saw him at the beginning. We didn't see a lot of Reba because they were winning everything. So
yeah. It was basically just the Lulu show.
Well, what we did see of Reba was Sifu going out to look for an idol.
Yes.
And to the point where he was spying on his tribe and he was running around.
That was so silly. I don't know why he did that.
Yeah, I don't know either. I mean, I think the hiding was good until he got caught. Like, once they were
I think he may have just got a bit excited.
Yeah. So hopefully that doesn't stick with him.
It probably will, but you never know.
We'll see.
Because they'll be looking for any reason to get rid of someone.
Yeah.
But what will help, I think, I hate to say this, but I feel like if Sifu was like a girl, he'd probably be gone. But because he's very like athletic and big and strong, I think he'll be okay. Like even if they go to tribal, I think someone like Dee or Julie.
Yeah.
Dee or Julie, I'm going to say, just because they're, like... I feel like Jay is very likable, so I think they'll want to keep her around. But, Dee and Julie, I feel like might end up being the targets at the first one.
Yeah.
Specifically, maybe Dee. I don't know why.
Mhm.
That's what the
Maybe.
vibes are
Yeah,
telling
D
me. But
hasn't.
yeah.
Yeah.
So luckily for
Um.
Sifu, because I really like Sifu, bless him.
Mhm.
He's so entertaining. He's definitely a bit of a main character
Oh, for
based
sure.
on just
Yeah.
how he acts and stuff. Like he is the moment.
Mhm.
So I think his physique will definitely keep him safe
Yeah.
for at least a round or two. Like I think they'll keep it in the back of their minds that he was spying on them.
Mhm.
But I think at least for the first few rounds, he's fine.
Yeah.
He's fine.
I also think that their tribe could easily win out. I don't know. They seem like a strong group.
No, there's not really any weak link from what
It
I've
could
seen.
end up being something where the other tribes team up against them, but really, I do think Reba could just win out.
No, you're right. Because like all three of the girls,
Mhm.
they're fairly
They're
like
still pretty
muscly
strong.
or
Yeah.
strong in their own ways. Yeah.
Mhm.
Like they're all kind of giving girl boss.
Yeah.
And then the guys, like we've got Austin who seems quite like nimble.
Mhm.
We've got Drew who's tall
and
good at
smart
puzzles,
and
I
could probably
assume.
do puzzles.
Yeah.
And he looks like he
Yeah.
could do puzzles. I guess we can't really
Yeah.
assume that. I think he was on the puzzle.
No, we're
for
going to assume that. You know what?
Yeah.
We're gonna assume it. He's nerd prime. Of course he's good at puzzles.
Mhm.
And then we have, of course, Sifu, who's like a literal ninja. So yeah, the whole package at Reba. So yeah, I'm with you on that.
Yeah. And also there are a decent amount of weaknesses on both the other tribes, I feel like. I mean, Blue Tribe, they're not. I mean,
We've
they
got
don't have
Brando.
Yeah, they've got. Yeah, I don't think Blue Tribe.
Brando's like
Blue Tribe's solidly in the middle, but I get more
secondary nerd.
Yeah, I get more challenge strength vibes from the Red Tribe than the Blue Tribe.
Yeah.
And Yellow Tribe, I'm sure they'll go to at least one more tribal. Like,
Yellow are definitely going to
they're
struggle.
gonna-
I mean, they've
yeah.
got Sean, who doesn't
Yeah.
seem too good on teamwork, and also
and
is a
Sean's
little bit
probably
skinny.
maybe one of their best.
Yeah.
Oh wait, no, they
We've
have
got
Caleb.
Brandon.
They've got Caleb.
Brandon's trying his hardest, bless him. I
Mhm.
feel like Brandon has someone in there. Like, I feel like Brandon could be more of a Franny in challenges. Like, you wouldn't really suspect him, but
I think he's
capable.
gonna improve.
Yeah.
Like,
Once he just needs to get his confidence up and calm
Mhm.
down, and then
which I
he'll
think
be
he
fine.
already has. I think he did well in that
I
first
hope so.
immunity
I think-
challenge.
I hope so, because he fell hard on that
Yeah.
wall. I watched
then
it
he got
back
up.
the second time, and I was like, oh my gosh. But yeah, he got up and he carried on, and he did seem a little like out of it when he was doing the puzzle, but I think that was just because it was over by that point.
Yeah, it was pretty much over then.
But yeah, I think having been to tribal now, Brandon's confidence is going to be up. Like, he's survived a tribal.
Mm-hmm.
His fear of being the first boot, which was probably his biggest fear, is over now.
Yeah,
he knows he's not
exactly.
the first boot. He can calm down a little bit.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
And also he's got Emily as a blatant target. on
Yeah.
the tribe.
Hopefully
Sorry, I'm a
Emily
big
will go
Brandon
before
enjoyer.
Brandon. As long as Brandon gets like steadily improves in challenges, she's gone.
Yeah. Brandon just needs to like show the gang that he's calmed down now,
Mhm.
because bless him, he's just panicking a little bit,
Yeah.
and that's okay.
All right. So yeah. Back to Reba Tribe though.
Yes.
Austin found the Beware advantage, which
That
is a
was so
whole
cool.
set of instructions for an idol, which
First of
starts
all,
out. Yeah.
Would you have taken it if you
Oh
found it
yeah.
there?
I think
on, like,
if
day
you're
two?
on Survivor and you find the Beware advantage, I think you just have to go for it.
Yeah, I agree, because not only is it part of the experience, but it's also you've then got the knowledge of what it does, the knowledge of who has it.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's
And-
also a good way to form an alliance, because if you trust someone with that information, that's huge.
Mhm. Unless if you like have an ally first, but even then, like allies aren't permanent. I'd say get it for yourself.
Yeah, yeah,
Because frankly, if you need your vote at your tribal, which you always like need your vote, but if you're like desperate for your vote, then you're probably in trouble anyways. So like you want to get in a position where you'll be fine without voting. Like you have like you're in at least a solid group of 4 or something. And that there's an easy enough target that your lack of vote won't do anything. But yeah, so Austin's on this major journey. He won't be able to vote for a while. It started out with just deciphering a thing on his tribe's flag, and that's where they left it off. So we don't even know how long that idle hunt is gonna be.
Mm. But that's a really cool concept.
Oh, for sure.
Because
Yeah.
that tribe flag is right in the middle of everything.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's not gonna be easy for him to do, but yeah. Really, that was pretty like I think we'll see more of the Red Tribe as we go on, but if they're not like losing stuff, then I think we'll see a decent amount of them like beginning of next episode because they are the 90-minute episodes, so I think there's enough
exactly.
time.
We did lose some time with like introductions.
Yeah. And something to bring up, we watched both Survivor and The Amazing Race, which are both 90-minute episodes. We didn't think they did not feel long at all.
We were like it's over already?
Yeah, they didn't feel any longer than the 40-minute episodes. So I hope that Survivor and The Amazing Race stick with this change. I will say, if I had to watch it with commercials, then I feel like I might have gotten bored a bit, because that's like half an hour of commercials you have to deal with. But 60 minutes straight of Survivor, I don't know. I think at least without commercials, you don't even notice.
Yeah.
Yeah. Also, something that was nice about this episode, I think we got to hear from like everyone, pretty much.
Yeah.
Like I think everyone got at least one confessional.
Let's run through the list of players. We heard from Hannah, definitely. We heard from Austin getting the thing. We heard from Brando talking about the sweat savvy thing.
Yeah.
We definitely heard from Brandon.
Oh yeah.
We definitely heard from Bruce.
Yeah.
We definitely heard
talked.
From D.
Yep.
We did hear from D because D said that she was like hot-headed.
Yeah.
We heard from scrolling down the list.
There
was no one that we didn't hear from.
I think we heard from all of them. That was super nice. I don't know if that's going to be consistent. But
what did Julie
Julie
do?
talked about how she got a divorce and then became a lawyer, and how she wasn't sharing that she's a lawyer. Yeah. So they all got to talk about stuff. Or there was no one that was invisible that episode. Some people were more visible than others, of course, but that's just how it is.
Yeah, exactly. So everyone on Lulu is going to be highlighted a lot more than people from, say, Bella or Reba.
Yeah.
Because,
and Reba won everything, so they had the least time of all. So, yeah, that's the penalty for winning challenges. You don't get as much television time.
Me when I throw over challenges.
Yeah. Yeah. Very some funny things from Jeff this episode. The first immunity challenge, it was like climb up this thing, then go crawl through mud under this thing, then get everyone up a wall, then solve a puzzle. But when you're climbing up the first thing, there's like a little cage above it for some reason. And specifically when Bruce was climbing that thing, it was when Jeff yelled, "Keep your head down." And I don't know if that was just like an edited timing thing to be funny, or if Jeff noticed and he was like, "Oh, that's the perfect time to say this." But yeah. And Bruce did manage to keep his head down. He did not hit his head on anything.
He even was like, he had a very personal moment after getting out the mud. He was like, "Let's go," and he kicked the mud.
Because that was one of the first things in 44. It was crawling under. I don't know if there was. I think there was mud. It was crawling under the cage of mud. That's exactly what it was. He just didn't have that little wall thing to climb up before. That was literally what it was. So he did celebrate a bit after that, and that was fun.
And as he deserves.
Yeah.
Another funny Jeff moment at the start when they all climbed onto their mats on that big boat.
Mm-hmm.
And they were all cheering and celebrating, Reba especially going yeah, Reba. Jeff was just smiling at them I'm just watching.
Yeah.
It was cute. I love the interactions.
Yeah. That always makes me think, because Jeff Probst, he's 60 something. I think he's 60. And the fear is what happens when he retires? Who replaces him? Yeah, he's 61. I don't know. That's not really a topic for this episode, but Jeff is getting old.
No, I'll cry. Don't.
Yeah. Anyways,
I'm not even as attached to you as Jeff. I've only watched for 5 seasons.
I know. Yeah. But yeah, Jeff is a great host, and I hope that they'll
He's very
find someone good one
energetic.
this time. Yeah, and
Yeah.
he's still got the like as long as he's got the energy, he'll keep going along into like he'll
Yeah.
at least make it to season 50. But I think he'll go as long as he physically can for Survivor. I think he
Yeah.
genuinely enjoys it.
Yeah. No, exactly. You can tell he genuinely enjoys it. I think that's what
Mhm.
part of what makes him such a good host. It's not just a
Yeah.
job to him. It really matters.
Hmm. Yeah. Otherwise, I mean, any other details from this episode you want to talk about? Like, I feel like we talked about pretty much everything. This isn't meant to summarize the whole episode. If you want to see what the episode was, go watch it. But
yeah, it was a good episode.
Yeah. Yeah, we already talked about the Hannah quit.
Shall we quickly talk about favorite? Just
yeah. Who are you liking now that I think we know the answer to this?
I don't think you need to ask me. I like Brandon.
Yeah, I am definitely rooting for Brandon as well. He's this
Brandon
very strong
Nation.
underdog.
All aboard the brand wagon. Let's go.
Yeah, and the brand wagon.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
That's what it says in his social media bios.
Oh, okay. I thought you came up with that.
No, he came up with it. The brand wagon.
I also like pretty much the whole Red Tribe. Pretty much everyone, but like
I like everyone. This is looking like a good cast.
Yeah, I'm really happy with this cast. I'm still satisfied with who we didn't draft, but
yeah, like it's day one, so we're not gonna be as attached as we were to, let's say, Carolyn or Jam Jam or anything like that. But yeah.
All right. Well, then I think it's time to shift gears and have a little discussion.
Some power?
Oh, sure, yeah. How did we do this? Is it one from? We'll go by each tribe, or
yes. Could you send me the link to the?
Just use the wiki, I think. If you're.
Oh yeah, good thinking.
Yeah.
My brain cells weren't brain celling.
Yeah, just use the wiki.
Okay, power rankings on Lulu.
Who's
Hannah
in the best
is in the
spot?
power seat.
All right, best spot on Lulu. Who do you think is in the best spot?
Hannah.
Who do you actually think is in the best spot?
Hannah.
Lucy.
She's in a hotel.
Lucy.
She's putting her feet up.
Okay, who is in the best spot on Lulu?
Sean.
Yeah. Oh yeah. No, we talked about this during the episode, didn't we?
Caleb and Sabiyah have been painted as a duo by Emily.
By Emily, yeah.
Brandon is Brandon. Emily is Emily, and Sean is just kind of there. So I feel like he's going to be the deciding vote.
Yeah, Sean.
I feel like overall Caleb and Sabiyah are in a. I'd rather be in Caleb and Sabiyah's spot.
Oh, for sure.
But I feel like Sean overall has more power.
Sean is in the power spot. I fully agree.
Yes.
Yeah. Who's in the worst
weakest
spot?
It's got to be Emily. She threw everyone under the bus there.
Emily, she's going in a very serious want to play.
Brandon sucks and Caleb and Sabiyah are a duo.
She's playing very seriously, but you can't play that with people. Like, if it was a tribe of Emily's, I'm sure she'd be very popular. But it's not a tribe of Emily's. It's a tribe of people who are really, really excited to be there. And if Emily's not matching that energy,
she'd be very popular.
Yeah.
You're so funny. I don't give you enough credit for being so funny, honestly.
Thank you. But yeah, no, I think Emily is going to be the next one out as long as Brandon doesn't consistently mess up challenges. And like doesn't consistently back out of doing stuff because he's like he
just needs to get his confidence.
Yeah, he needs if Brandon can get his confidence back, he'll be fine. He'll be just fine because he's also a very loyal player. I think they'll see that. Yeah. All right, let's move on to the Bello tribe. Who's in the best spot on there?
Hard to say because we haven't really seen
we have not seen a lot of them.
But I'm gonna say one of the girls for sure.
Yeah, I was gonna say honestly, all three of them. They're pretty
Yeah.
Like, I think they're going to be
Maybe
sorted
like
out.
leaning towards Katura just because she seems the most likable and
Mhm.
physically capable out
Yeah.
of the group.
And then as for the worst spot, that's a tough one.
Ugh. I'm gonna
I-
say Jake just because his name
yeah.
got thrown out
Yeah.
by I think Kendra. So
Bruce
just the
needs to be
fact that she's
careful
done
though.
that. Yeah, Bruce is on thin ice, but he's pretty strong, so
Yeah, he is physically strong. So yeah, I think Jake isn't. Yeah, Jake doesn't seem to bring much else to the tribe that nobody else brings, in my opinion. Um, like he's not. He doesn't seem that physically strong. He is a lawyer, but like you also have Brando for the intelligence. So,
mm.
um, and I don't think he's any better at challenges than any of the free girls on that tribe. So, yeah, I think Jake could be in it. Jake doesn't deserve to be in a bad spot, but he's just not in a great spot. All right. Reba tribe. That's a tough one. Do you have any idea who would be in
I'm
the best spot?
gonna. It's a tricky one.
Mm-hmm.
I was about to be like, I'm gonna say Austin, but he's lost his vote, hasn't he?
Yeah, Austin doesn't have a vote. I mean, he has the advantage, but like, yeah,
I'm gonna say on pure vibes, Jay.
I agree. That's
I
what I
think
was
she's
thinking.
just quite likable, and I feel
Yeah,
like she's someone that anyone would want to align with. I feel like
exact. I
Austin would
agree.
probably tell her first about
Mm-hmm.
the. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. Um, it's really hard. Reba we saw the least of, so it's really hard to tell. I'm kind of like, yeah. I feel like Drew's also. I think he can get in a good spot. I don't really know where he's at right now, but yeah. All right, who do you think is in the worst spot on the Reba tribe? Any idea?
Julie.
Julie? Just because she's older, or
No, D. D.
D?
I'm
Oh
saying
yeah,
D.
D. D was the one you were saying could get. Yeah,
Yeah. Just be like it would be Sifu, but just because he's of his physicality, he'll be fine.
I think Tifu
I'm
needs to be
also
careful though. Like,
I'm
yeah,
also obsessed with how tall
how tall
Nerd
Drew is.
Prime is compared to I mean, can you see the picture of
Yeah,
them
no,
all
I'm looking.
together?
Yeah,
It's very funny to me.
like the fact that he's taller than Sifu. Like Sifu's the shortest guy in that tribe. It looks like, but the fact that he's taller than someone like Austin or like it's just a bit shocking.
I love
Yeah.
it. I love it. I'm a big Nerd Prime enjoyer.
All right. Well, anything else you want to add about this episode?
Nope.
All right, then I believe it's time to shift gears and talk about The Amazing Race.
Oh, can we quickly look at our
Oh, yeah, we'll look at the draft.
draft?
You lost your first
I
impression.
know I chose her. I had such a good feeling
Yeah.
about her. Can I inspect who's got who?
Yeah,
'Cause
sure,
I feel
go
like
for
we
it.
know them now. I don't know how to open the spreadsheet.
I've definitely sent you the link.
I'm scrolling up frantically and I really can't see it.
There's no way I haven't sent you the link.
Yeah, but we message a lot. Okay, I finally found it.
There. All right.
That's how much scrolling it took.
All right.
We just talk a lot, okay?
Okay, anyways.
Yeah. Wait, you talk while I look at it.
All right, well, let me pull it up then.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah,
You
so
know
we know
what?
Lucy.
I feel good about my picks.
Yeah, you had Hannah Rose in your first impression draft, and she left the game. So, unfortunately, you have lost her.
That's okay. Like, if I'm gonna lose one, I'd rather I lost one from the first impression draft because that's a go big or go home kind of
Yeah.
area.
Otherwise, we have everyone left. Unfortunately, Kendra and Emily are still in.
No, I'm feeling really good about the cast assessment draft. Look at yours versus mine.
Yeah.
I've got like,
I mean, I've got Kelly,
yes.
and if I'm right about the Red Tribe, like winning out,
True.
I'm in a
True.
good spot
true,
there.
True. Yeah.
Yeah.
You never know. You never know. Very
Yeah.
excited to see how it all goes.
Yeah, it'll be interesting. All right, let's go ahead and move on to the Amazing Race.
Do
So- So yeah, we just watched that episode earlier today, and it was pretty good. It was fun to watch. They brought back. They're having the U-turns again, which is now a forced vote. Like everyone has to do a U-turn. They've got the Express Pass, which was something. Are there any teams you're particularly enjoying as of now?
I've completely forgotten their names, but the ones that came first.
Their names are Jocelyn. There is a wiki for the Amazing Race if you want to look that up too.
Let me get that.
Lucy is talking about Jocelyn and Victor, best team on the season. We are rooting for them.
We love them.
They,
we kid you not. Like from the second they first shared, like the second they first
you saw
appeared
them for
on screen,
a second on screen.
I saw them bounce up for a second, and they both looked so happy and excited. And it was like, yeah. So I was like, oh, look at them.
Yeah.
So.
And they killed it. They pretty much dominated this leg. They were the lead changed a few times, but yeah. So that was awesome to see. The other team, we also enjoy Rob and Corey. It's a father-son team. Oh, Jocelyn and Victor are married, by the way. And then Rob and Corey, father-son. Except Rob, the father, he is deaf. So,
and we love
that. Fully deaf. Not like Matt from Big Brother 25. I don't think Rob can hear at all. I think it's purely sign language for him. If that seems correct. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, they're really
with
close.
An emphasis on the D.
Yeah.
I love that. I love the representation we've been seeing lately for people with various disabilities. Let's have an autistic woman next, please. I can do it. I can.
Yeah. So in the roadblock for this episode, it was walk across this tightrope, then unscramble a phrase. And
we for sure need to make a segment on this podcast of who out of us would be best at the thing. Or who we'd send. Let's decide.
For this roadblock?
I think this would be a me one.
I agree.
Do
you want to explain what? Yeah, okay.
Well, I'm not very strong or smart. Or at least... No. I mean, you know...
Oh my gosh.
You know when you come across these things and it's build a motorbike, you know? I could not do that. I'm so bad. I can't even make scrambled eggs or whatever, you know? I can't work in a kitchen. I can tie my shoelaces. That's a good one.
Okay, but why would you be good at this
And
challenge?
I know how to charge my phone.
Okay. But what are the positives?
It's more that this would mean you could do another challenge. Okay. But also, I would not be that scared of the heights. Obviously it's scary being there, but I feel like I would know that I was strapped in and it would be fine because I'm just going then. And then, at the end, which obviously we didn't know at the start, but there's a map at the end with words next to it, numbers, and you had to unscramble it. Now, while the episode was on, the two of us did work on that together. I think you went to grab something.
Yeah, we eventually got it.
Basically, I got City of, and then you got Angels, and that is proof that we're a dream team at CBS.
Except this was an individual challenge, so
yes. But we're a duo, and we come as a pair.
Yeah. What was fun about that challenge? Oh,
you go ahead.
There's I think maybe one team figured it out at first, and then all of them were there struggling with it. But 6 of those teams, they're standing a little huddle. They're all right, if we get it, we're gonna share, and that'll guarantee us the first flight. Meanwhile, Rob's just kind of chilling behind them, and we see him signing.
Yeah, and they don't think to try and include him as well.
Yeah,
that was what you pointed out. Are they leaving him out? I don't think they meant to. I think just none of them knew sign language.
Yeah, something either that or they didn't see. I don't. Yeah, he was not included.
Either way, he was not included.
But he's just standing there, and he's we see him signing Angels, and then he does. He claps, and then he goes over and tells them without anyone even knowing he was there. It was awesome. And
then he's away, and it's we were both I was punching the air. I was go on, go on.
Oh, it was great.
Like that was everything.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Do you want to talk about the detour? Actually, let me explain
Yeah.
the detour.
Okay.
You had two options for this detour. You could learn a sword dance, memorize it, and then perform it fairly accurately enough so the expert thinks you passed and did it well enough for having learned it fairly just before. Like, you can do that. Or you can get a massage. What would you choose?
Oh, we were both when we were watching that. We were like massage,
I
massage,
feel like it's
massage.
so close. Like, that's. Like, I can see, because, like, obviously, like, Joe and
The two
Ian
guys.
were, like, the
Yeah.
main sword people, and they gained, like, 3 places by doing the sword thing on their first try. So, like, obviously, the sword thing is faster if you do it right. Because the massage itself, it's 30 minutes. And to factor it
Yeah.
in, the massage, one, you have to make it all the way, like, you can't tell them to stop or anything. But it seems to be a painful massage. Like they're like kind of a
Mm.
chiropractor sort of massage. Like they're stretching you out, and I'm
How do
sure
you
it
think
felt
you'd
good
have coped with
afterwards.
that?
I would have dealt with it just as well as anyone else there. Probably
Yeah.
noises, but like so
I probably would
I
have
would
been
have
crying.
oh I would have chosen it over the swords any day.
Yeah, me too. Me too.
Um, yeah. So, like, I can see the choice, but like the way it's lined out, I'm like, oh my gosh, it's so clear. Just do massage. It was like the weirdest thing. But yeah. Um, do you have anything to say about the team that was eliminated? Alexandra and Sheridan, the
I
siblings who
would
are
have
also
liked to have seen
roommates.
a bit more from them.
Yeah,
They were slightly strange in terms of their vibe. Like,
yeah, yeah. I don't not much to say
and
about them.
it was amusing seeing them fail to make a decision about who was going to do
That was funny. The
the
roadblock. He's
roadblock.
like, oh, I don't care who does it. Well, pick. No, you pick. I'll. Yeah, that was funny. I'm surprised we don't see more teams do that, but I feel like most teams are just more prepared or something. Um,
Yeah. Or it's just one of those things where you just make the snap decision because you've got the
mhm.
adrenaline going.
Yeah, and they did not. Yeah.
Yeah. It's
Anything
kind of
else?
us when
Yeah.
we have to choose a game to play.
Yeah.
Like, we're always so indecisive.
hmm
So,
Yeah.
no, you can choose. No, you. No, I said you can choose. Oh, but I don't mind you choosing.
hmm Yeah.
I mean, that's how you can tell that those two, like, they do have a really good
Yeah, they
bond
have a
because
bond. They
clearly,
just weren't quite
yeah,
ready for the race.
yeah.
Um, do you have anything else you want to say about the episode? Like, is there
It was
anything else
good
we've
fun.
missed? Yeah. Um, yeah, like I said, we generally have more to talk about with Survivor than the Amazing Race. The Amazing
Yeah,
Race isn't as much like it, the Amazing Race is more just do it and do it fast. Where
it's more about what happens rather than the psychology behind it.
yeah, Survivor there's a lot more to talk about, but the Amazing Race I
Yeah,
enjoy it pretty much just as much.
yeah.
Um,
I enjoy Survivor
I
a
enjoy
lot
Survivor a little more,
more,
but
a little more, but I love The
yeah,
Amazing
but
Race.
the Amazing Race is great for
You got me into such great American television.
reality shows are where it's at, and then some other
Real.
random shows, but like reality shows are great. Um,
Yeah.
yeah. But yeah, we don't have as much to say about the Amazing Race, and I don't really have anything else to add about this episode. Hopefully, I think we'll be able to keep up with both Survivor and the Amazing Race. Um, hopefully we'll be able to, and we'll be able to keep talking about both of them. Otherwise, thank you for listening to this episode of Reality Check, the podcast where we discuss everything reality. Thanks for listening, and see you next time.